I have not forgotten the first time I read Science and Health. I had read articles in the Healing Thoughts magazine with many references to science and health and its healing effect on people. Then I said to myself that I must read this book. The desire to read it was more of curiosity than interest in any particular healing, but little did I know what I was about to experience. I grew up in a Methodist home in Nigeria and attended schools that offered Bible studies during my elementary and high school years, so Bible events are no stranger to me. Nevertheless, I wanted to know more, and maybe someday I would find some resources that would help answer some of the questions that were lingering in my mind. So when I heard that Science and Health is the key to the Scriptures, I said maybe this book would help solve these puzzles about God and us. Then I ordered the book, and it arrived within a couple of weeks. Without hesitation, I started reading immediately. The chapter on prayer was the connecting point. I just could not stop reading it. It was simple, easy to understand, and absolute truth. The chapter on prayer is so applicable, and it changed the way I pray. It explains why some prayers are answered and some are not. Now I pray with expectation and consistency by knowing that God hears honest prayers. I knew there were so many great books, but what I was holding in my hand was not like any other book. It was unique and powerful. My hands were shaking at times with mixed feelings of amazement and astonishment because I couldn't believe what I had just found. I did not know anything about Mary Baker Eddy, who wrote the book, but I was certain that the book I had in my hand was an absolute revelation from God. There is no way anybody could have accomplished this without God being with them. I started telling my friends about the new book I'd just found, but it wasn't welcomed by many. Some thought it was too much for them. I remember my roommate did his best to discourage me from reading it. That was the response I got from people around me, but that did not discourage me. Everything was coming to life for me. Everything I had believed since I was a kid was starting to make sense to me. God was becoming closer and closer like never before. I started feeling empowered, and I was certain that I had found a new life. I remember one night when I couldn't sleep, thinking about the book. This could be God working through me. As I read, I tried not to use a dictionary, but to allow God to unveil the mysteries in every word. As I read on, I felt something extraordinary was taking place in my life. This was not a coincidence. It was God's plan in effect. Soon I learned why people can get healed just by reading it. You have less consciousness of self, but are more attuned with God, and in this state of being, sickness is impossible. My life was never the same after this experience of reading Science and Health. It gave my life new meaning and courage to keep on. It renewed my hope and made my faith stronger. I wasn't just a believer anymore, but somebody with absolute knowledge of God and myself. God is now closer to me than I have ever known. Benjamin Ndukwe. For those of you who don't know, he's our clerk, but he came from Nigeria.